That's why I love it, because you can always learn something. That's my favorite thing about this country is there's not enough lifetimes to figure this place out. If anybody says they know the Everglades, they're full of crap. Nobody can know the Everglades in a lifetime, you know. I run around there and I'm running by millions of fish all the time. I know it. I just don't know where they're going to be, where you can catch them, or, you know.
The Everglades is unique. Its 1.5 million acres provide a habitat for numerous game fish, resulting in a fisherman's paradise. As a younger angler, I find entertainment watching people like Flip bring us along a journey into the marsh, fishing at the same time.
And I came back to the wind and water and the sun, back to my house with the endless corridors and uncounted rooms like this one.
I try to emulate the same feeling, and with that comes unique ideas like this one. Try and catch 4 main Everglades species in the same day: snook, redfish, tarpon, and bass. These fish exist in different habitats, but are accessible only in the Florida Everglades. Join me as I explore this unique ecosystem, trying to catch these fish. Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video. Today, we got something awesome. We are down here in the Everglades, as you guys can probably tell from the title. And today, we're on a new boat. Actually, we're on a Tarpon Bay 19, Tarpon Boat Works. This thing, I mean, we cruise down here going about 40-something miles an hour. You know, it's getting that time of year when the gulp juice in this container is kind of cold, kind of chilly. It was left outside overnight. But yeah, we're in a new boat. This is actually the boat. The reason I'm in this is because we're actually going to be fishing this in the tournament. Tarpon Boat Works helped us out with the tournament this coming weekend, which you guys will see, which I'm super excited about. It's going to be a great time, but it's very, very nice boat. And I think me and my dad this weekend in the tournament are going to have a great time and hopefully get on him, get after him. But with that being said, guys, today, starting it off, I got out here later than expected. That's on me. Kind of disappointed about that, but we're here. It's about 9:30. Got the new penny. We're gonna be working some of these lines, trying to dial in some final spots before this tournament. Yeah, with that being said, guys, let's go get on some big fish and let's go. I will say this tide is a little bit lower than it was last time I was here, and I didn't have as much luck last time right here as I'd hope. So I'm hoping that changes a bit today with this tide being a little more desirable. With that being said though, guys, we're not gonna have a whole lot of time to honestly fish. I kind of took it down here today because I wanted to get some tracks, kind of mark some of my spots, whatever, that I'm gonna be fishing in the tournament that we obviously had on the egret, but may not have on this boat, you know what I mean? So wanted to do that. I'm excited. I hope we can get on a nice fish or two, get some good feels going into the tournament, and see what happens. The first spot I hit was surrounded by murky, stirred up water, the complete opposite of the stained backwaters we will soon be exploring. I worked into a creek I know has some big snook, and it wasn't long until I was on.
All right, so right here we got a little creek mouth. I'm hoping it's outgoing tide. And you can see there's a bunch of bait and stuff right here. I'm hoping that there's some fish here. Guys, 2 big snooks sitting right here. There were just 2 big snooks sitting on top. All right, guys, so I just saw 2 snook on top. Both slots, easy. I think I spooked them. Usually when you cast in here and they just go. Yep, there's one right there. Got him. Yeah, usually they go do that, guys. Go and freaking attack it. This is a gorgeous snook. This would be a perfect tournament snook, guys. All right, let's land him. Come on, buddy. Fish. There we go, guys. Beautiful fish right there, man. Look at him, he freaking choked it. Look at the mouth on that thing. Look at that, look at the mouth on this guy. Look at that, let's get a measurement on him real quick. 31. That would be a good snook right there, guys. That would be a good snook for the tournament. Guys, gonna keep this quick. Beautiful snook right there. We got to get him back in the water. Gorgeous snook, guys. Look at that fish. That's going to be a tournament winner right there. There he goes. Back to the bottom he goes. Guys, first 30 minutes of fishing, you cannot make that up. 31-inch snook, absolute tank. So fat. There was another one swimming on top of them. It's like, if we can get those snook, redfish is what I'm worried about. I need to be able to get some redfish. I get snook every time I come down here. Got to be able to get redfish. On the 3K sustain, he killed it. Let's freaking go, guys. Let's go. Guys, so he was just sitting. They were both up in here, up on top of the water there, and then he was swimming out here. I casted, he darted towards it. They're so aggressive. They're so aggressive back here. It's actually insane. They freaking kill it. I've hooked some in here before, never caught one. You guys can see how frayed up we are. 40-pound leader, 40-pound. Thank goodness. 30-pound would have probably gotten snapped. Let's see if we can find that other one. He was with one. That was another nice sized snook. I'm shaking, dude. That makes the whole trip right there. Guys, I mean, can't get much better than that. That was first 30 minutes of fishing, if that. That snook was so fat, man, and he was wide. He almost had the body of like a middle, or I guess he was middle slot, of like an upper, or like an over slot. Yeah, I casted out in the middle where he was swimming, and just basically reeled my gulp, and he freaking smoked it, man. It was insane. That was the bigger one too. They were both up top. One of them had a really wide back. I think that was him. The other one looked a little bit smaller. It was hard to tell though.
After that incredible snook eat, my day was already made. My objective now was to get some redfish, a game fish needed for the upcoming tournament. I ended up exiting the creek and continuing to throw some gulps down some lines.
Little guy in this creek. Yeah, guys, you can see these creeks. This is where we've had kind of some luck this morning, but they just go back forever, man. And the water just pours out of there, you know what I mean? All right, guys, we got some island cluster right here, and there's a lot of current pouring out of it. I could see a red sitting here, just drifting with the current. Oh yeah, there's a nice oyster bar right there. Come on, give me a red. Beautiful oyster bar right there.
I ended up working some islands that had a lot of oysters around them, figuring it would get me my redfish in the current. I ended up getting a bunch of snook instead, still looking for that signature redfish.
There's some fish blowing up on the backside of these. Let's go see what's up. Little snook. Oh, wow, I just got almost freaking all the snook are on this backside. I mean, it's every cast right here, man.
I continued to work the line, looking for another redfish while I stumbled upon one of Everglades' apex predators.
Beautiful alligator right there. Just tanning himself. That's what you see in the Everglades, man. Look at him, he's propped up, arms. He's like on a couch watching a football game. There's a lot of little snook around. We're looking for big guys. There's another little guy. That was a better snook. That might have been close to slot. Probably 25, 26 off first reactions. Not mad I missed him now, but come this weekend, I need a better hook set on that guy. There he is. That's a good sign. There he is, guys. Not a big one, but first one of the day. And I mean, he's a beautiful one, at least. Gorgeous red right there, guys. Beautiful fish. Blue tail. Got gator over there watching us. Another red. This is insane, guys. I literally casted. He's small, same size basically, but guys, I literally casted the same exact spot. Beautiful fish. Just had a tarpon on. There's tarpon in here. Just had like a 20-pound tarpon in it. Dang it. I thought it was a needlefish, dude. You guys probably saw him swipe at it.
After that red and missed tarpon, I decided to head back into another creek with no luck. I ended up going into the backwaters and searching for my other species, the tarpon and bass. One of the coolest things about the Everglades is the different types of water you can fish just miles apart. I went from a salty river to water so fresh there were cichlids and freshwater catfish swimming around. It's truly remarkable. We head up the river and began to fish, beginning to wrap up our already successful trip.
Alrighty guys, well we are now back in the backwaters, working our way back to the ramp. It is about noon. Yeah, no, 11:37. Gonna be throwing this NLBN swim bait now. I think I might be able to get on something. We'll see, just exploring. Never fished any of these areas before. We're in the middle of nowhere. So let's try to get on something.
The first thing I noticed when I reached bass territory was the color change. It was clear, crystal clear, and the leaves and sand on the bottom were gorgeous. I felt like I was back in Naples, fishing my favorite bass pond. I was seeing bass all around me, as well as softshell turtles and catfish and minnows. It was like a lake. I decided I needed to catch one of these bass, as there was no other option if I wanted to make a video like this one, showing off the Everglades' versatility. And so we did just that.
It's a freaking 2-pound bass right there, man. I need to catch one of these bass. Imagine tarpon. We had a tarpon bite. Snook. That's literally the Everglades experience right there, man. I think that one I had was a bass. I almost said it, but I didn't want to sound like an idiot. I mean, look what we're fishing right now. There's a bass right there. Just cruising.
Dude, that was a freaking nice bass. He's like a 2.5 pounder. Oh my gosh, I set the hook into him. Just sight cast. I'm sight casting bass, guys. This water must be extremely fresh. Holy crap. Watch me get a stud snook too.
This is what we were fishing. Just a couple miles from where I got an upper slot snook, I was hooking 2-pound bass. I've never done anything like this before, and I was stoked. The creek was filled with perfectly stained water and sandy, oystery bottom. I continued working into the creek until I finally sight casted another bass.
There's our bass, guys. Look at that, man. Guys, it doesn't get better than that. Look at that fish. Look at its colors. That is the purest bass. For you guys who like bass fishing, that is the purest bass you'll ever catch. Compared to neighborhood bass, I'd eat this bass. Look at that fish, man. Such a beauty. Beautiful fish. Perfect green. Let's get him back where he came from. I see his friends looking for his buddy. Guys, look at this water we're fishing in. For you guys that have been watching the channel, trust me, I've known you can catch bass in the Everglades, you know what I mean? I mean, half the time when you're running through, like, for example, Alligator Bay, no wakes, like, you'll see gar and all that. But I've never seen a bass, and I'm fishing a new spot, but it is not, if you guys knew where I was, it's back up in here, but it's not like one of those forks that's just like way up in there, like, you know what I mean? That's why I was very surprised. That is awesome. I really wish I caught that first one. That first one, dude, was a freaking 2.5 pounder. I feel like I'm a kid again back up in here. Bass fishing, I feel like that's how a lot of people get into it. I love bass fishing as a kid, man. All right, we're gonna turn around here shortly.
I ended up leaving the creek going back to the main bay, not knowing whether I was going to find a redfish, a snook, maybe even some more bass. All I know is what just happened was pretty awesome. We were fishing a skinny creek in crystal clear, stained, tannic water that was as clear as a drinking well. With that being said, we left the creek and continued on our way, hoping to add some more awesome fish to this amazing trip.
Alrighty guys, well honestly I might just spend the majority of my rest of my time out here. Try to find some more little creeks like this where there's some bass. That was awesome, man. I think there's one back in here. We'll just keep working this stuff. I could have sworn I was getting hit by some bass on the other side of this, and I was like, they look like snook, but they had a black tail. And I've bass fished enough in neighborhoods and stuff where I was like, you know, that looks like a bass. The water's super cold. I didn't taste it. I bet it's super fresh. But that is just such awesome stuff, man. I mean, only the Everglades are gonna be able to do that. And while you're doing that, you can get what we came out here for. So guys, while we're basically bass fishing now, there you get the, oh, look at him. You get the regular species we're after. Snook almost looks like a different species with how much darker he is, you know what I mean?
After that snook, I worked further back into this ecosystem, catching an invasive cichlid to add to the freshwater species list. After that, I started working my way home, fishing one more spot with a little mullet but had no luck and decided to call it quits.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it today. I appreciate you guys watching. This is, I feel like, gonna be an awesome video. Obviously, you don't know until you start editing it, but I mean, that was literally awesome. And got swiped on by a tarpon, caught a upper slot snook, caught a bass, had a 2.5 pound bass on, caught a couple small redfish, basically did everything you can do in the Everglades, you know what I mean? It was really awesome, and got to be grateful to get out here and do that. This boat is insane. I'm super excited to use it this weekend. I mean, the thing literally is a missile, and it's the same size, like specs as the egret, so everywhere I can fish in the egret, I can fish in this, you know what I mean? So that's also reassuring to know, you know what I mean? But we're gonna be able to get there quicker, and it's gonna be an awesome Saturday morning, cannot come soon enough. It'll be interesting how we're doing after Saturday. You know, if we get a snook like that, maybe 2, get a couple, like some reds, whatever, we might be putting ourselves into contention come Sunday. But with that being said, guys, awesome. Super grateful to be able to get out here. And as always, God bless. See you guys in the next video, which will be a big one, tournament weekend. Let's go.
Having a day like today before tournament weekend was reassuring, and it also makes me want to run up the forks more often, targeting bass specifically. It's not every day you can catch bass that are so interrupted and undisturbed. If you guys liked the video, please be sure to subscribe and like and comment. We got some awesome stuff coming up, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with y'all. God bless, and have a great week.